All right, we are live after many weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, not sure. But Rajiv ji is here. Rajiv ji is our immigration lawyer, and we're gonna try to do this now every week. But yeah, welcome everybody. We have a lot to cover today. There's a lot of updates happen in last couple weeks. So Rajiv ji, let's start with like PM Modi's visit. So for those of you who are like watching this, there's like three main updates I want to first cover, and then we'll take Q&A. One is PM Modi's update, and I think H1B can be stamped in USA, and there's like so much noise about that. Then second is the Canada now welcomes H1B visa thing, so that, and then third one is OPT EAD card delays and what that means for the student, when does actual start date happens, and all of that. So let's start with PM Modi's visit. Did you go and meet him?
No.
No. Okay. Uh, yeah. So let's start. If you have any like updates, what's going on with that?
Well, first of all, let's understand what India has to offer the West and specifically United States.
Hmm.
We have a huge pool of talent, very well educated, very well trained, young, speak English, kind of, sort of. We all speak English.
Yeah.
Um, can't think of and coming from a democracy, it's a very commensalistic relationship, quite
Hmm.
natural.
Yeah.
As we have seen in the last few months, artificial intelligence, uh, quantum computing, these technologies have become so reachable. I just finished a course on LinkedIn on quantum computing.
I saw
I didn't,
that. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't, I couldn't believe it that I can actually do quantum computing for 1 hour free of charge every month um, using three different types of quantum computers.
Hmm.
Can you believe
Hmm.
that? And then, of
Yeah.
course, they also have, when you log into AWS and go through um, their quantum computing setup, they have local models as well as actual computing time.
Hmm.
I couldn't believe how accessible these technologies are becoming and how fast. Of
Yeah.
course, we are what at like 10 or 20 or 24, something like that qubits, and we need to be at 1 million qubits before we can get really good at it. But
Yeah.
I did 100,000 qubit announcement yesterday.
Hmm.
So things are changing very fast. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, there are plenty of American workers here, but do we have enough? So without trying to bring in my own selfish interests, the more people here are, the better it is for us as immigration lawyers.
Hmm.
Without bringing that in, just looking at being a citizen of the United States, what is good for USA? Okay.
Hmm.
So as you probably know, that the AI race is neck to neck. China, um, USA, and I'm not sure how far ahead Europe is, but India is not far behind. So there's a lot of all of a sudden there's a boom in technology,
Hmm.
kind of reminiscent of Y2K in some ways.
Yeah.
You're too young to remember that, but Y2K was a big deal, and during the Y2K time, we got H1Bs for the most minimally qualified people because we needed people who could code and were willing to learn. So we did
Hmm.
a lot of H1Bs. Uh, I think to some extent, we are running into the same era again.
Hmm.
Now, this might take a few months. Many jobs will be eliminated, many will be created. But in high technology, I think we'll see a boom. That's the way I see it happening.
Right.
Because you have, from the ground up, you have people who need to code, you have people who need to conceive, you have people need to actually do the data models and the model training. There's data science involved, statistics involved, all kind of things are involved. Okay. Now, the era of coding is not gone. It won't be gone for a long time. So,
Hmm.
keeping this in view, I'm just talking about technology. There are other areas in which India excels, and it's a commensalistic relationship. But here is the hype. The hype is, oh, Mr. Modi came, and now H-1B visas will become a lot easier. It's utter nonsense. There's nothing like that. Oh, he, because of his visit and because of some Silicon Valley lobbyists, all of a sudden we'll get visas within the United States. That was announced in January of this year. That's
Hmm.
a 10-month-old project or six,
Hmm.
7-month-old project. What's
Hmm.
new about that? There's a lot of
Hmm.
hype. Compelling
Hmm.
circumstances, EAD, things have become a lot easier. It's the same, 100% same thing for the last 6 years.
Hmm.
So don't buy the hype that media gives. Media just, without
No, but
understanding.
it's not the hype. But like also, I saw the clip where Narendra Modi itself says that okay, for H-1B now you don't have to go to India. You can
But
do
that
it.
has
Yeah.
nothing to do with Mr. Modi. That was announced in January.
Right.
It's
Right.
like me. Look, I am a fan of
Mhm.
Modi Sahab.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm well aware of his limitations. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell you, a lot of the politicians, of course, no disrespect meant here, but a lot
Hmm.
of politicians will have us believe they are responsible for the discovery of fire. It just doesn't
Hmm.
work like that. Okay. So this has been around for a long time. We knew it was going to happen. Some lawyers were tweeting from the American Immigration Lawyers Association annual conference that State
Hmm.
Department has announced by the end of this year they'll have this plan in place. Okay, what is it? What does it
Hmm.
mean to us?
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to 2015, this was called visa revalidation. Okay, so visa revalidation was a plan under which if you had a pre-existing visa, and I think it
Hmm.
applied only to H-1Bs, L-1s. I don't remember if it applied to student visas, but it applied to a certain set of visas, not everything.
Right.
If you had a pre-existing visa,
Hmm.
before you never have to go outside for another visa stamping. You could just mail your passport and the fees and the forms, and you would get your visa stamp revalidated within the United States. Not the first time H-1B.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, are they going to change that and make it true for even first time H-1B? Frankly, I don't see any reason why they shouldn't. See, between 2015 and now, what is different? First of all, the technology.
Hmm.
The rationale, as I understand it, or as I can see it, for getting people to apply in their home country is because the home country consulates are better able to assess their intentions.
Hmm. Hmm.
H-1B, L-1s are dual intent visas. It doesn't really matter. You can even do first time stamping right here.
Yeah.
Number,
Yeah.
number two, this idea that somehow the home country consulates have better grasp on um, somebody's intention is
Hmm.
outdated.
Yeah.
Okay. Even now, if there's a problem, let's say you go apply for an H-1B visa and the consulate says, there's something weird going on here. When they send your case for further follow up, they send it to Kentucky. It's not like it is being investigated in US
In
in India.
India. Oh, right.
Some parts of
Yeah.
it might be, but there are very, very few. Normally,
Yeah.
it's investigated out of Kentucky Consular Center. So then, what
Hmm.
is the rationale of not having a full operation here in the United States? If you're
Right.
sending it to the US anyway, okay.
Yeah.
Now, I
Yeah.
personally think that it should be allowed. It should be allowed first times, and I think all visas should be allowed here. Why should you
Right.
have to go through the extra hassle? On top of that, what is the problem with doing something like a Zoom interview? Why can't the consulates get into the world of
Yeah.
video Okay, part of it is there are regulations that don't quite allow for that, but then regulations can be amended. Okay,
Right.
so going back to visa revalidation, let's summarize. This program used to be there till I think 2015. It was only for renewal of visas, what is called revalidation, not for the first time. And in the
Hmm.
beginning of this year, State Department said they were going to go back to it. So this
Hmm.
Modi had nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Great guy, does great speeches, does great work, very dedicated, honest man. from what
Hmm.
I can tell. But he was not responsible for this.
Yeah, and I think media also. I saw a few articles which says now you can do your H1B even for the first time in India, and I'm like, in United States, and I'm like, there's no way
Oh, they
this
might. They
could be.
might. They
Yeah,
might. Because think
yeah,
about it. I said the technology infrastructure has changed. So now, first of all, I don't think there used to be PIMS, the universal database for all consulates. I don't think
right,
it was in existence at that time. Or
right.
maybe it was, but PIMS was not used as much, nor was it as readily updated. Now,
Hmm.
with today's technology, things are happening in real time. You've
Yeah,
got servers that are being, first of all, they're localized, and they're all mirroring, and they're immediately updating the changed bits. So there's really no need for people to be sent to India or Pakistan or Europe for getting their visa stamping. Why? Or even
right,
Mexico.
right.
What is the
Yeah,
magic in Mexico? Think about it. I can apply for my F1 student visa in Mexico.
and yeah, true,
Okay.
true.
So
Or
how
even
can Mexico
Canada.
judge my
Yeah,
intentions?
yeah,
What is the
yeah.
point of sending me out? It doesn't make sense.
Right. Okay, cool. So the first point, which was H-1B visa can be stamped in United States, that's not for first time, at least as of right now. Oh, it's the renewal of the second time or revalidation can happen in United States. Is that, do we have a date, or like is that
No, no,
true?
we don't have a date. But I tell you, don't underestimate the importance of this.
Okay.
Because let's say, I'll give you an example. So we have a client who are doing a lot of work in the quantum computing space. Um, and they've got a core of 28 engineers.
Hmm.
Okay. Those are the core engineers. They are operating in stealth mode. They've got lots of good plans going. They cannot afford to be some of the technologies they are working with, because quantum technology has direct impact on encryption.
Hmm.
That's one of the first problems. A lot of people don't understand the difference between classical and quantum computing. It's not like
Yeah.
quantum computing is better, it's just different.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
problem like a pattern problem, like modeling or simulation, that a classical computer or even a bunch of classical computers would take 20 years to do, um,
Hmm.
a quantum computer could do it in 10 seconds.
Right.
It's
Right.
just the way they are built, right? So these guys cannot afford to be without a programmer or a coder or an engineer. Of
Hmm.
they're afraid of sending their people out, because if you
Hmm.
get stuck there, some of it is RSA encryption technology. You're not allowed to work on it outside the United
Hmm.
States. These are restricted technologies. What do you do? Okay, that's
Hmm.
my understanding. That's one of their biggest concerns. Okay,
Yeah.
so the fact that when a young man wants to go and get married, instead of having Joe Biden sitting on him and saying, "No, you can't go, because if you go, I'll investigate you," we can
Hmm.
actually send them out with peace of mind, saying, "Okay, you know what? This is a visa extension. You can get it done. It's in your pocket. Go what you need to do. Somebody is sick in the family. Something needs to be taken care of. The employer knows he's coming back. Okay,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
like he's going to get stuck there
Yeah.
for months
Yeah.
and months. It's very good for business, no doubt
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
But this is not a panacea. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how it's going to work out. Let's see. Let's hope that they are more reasonable this time around than they were before.
Nice. Okay, cool. All right. So now the second one is the Canada welcomes H-1B visa holder. So what's
Well,
going on
I
with that?
I
Yeah.
didn't even read it through. I kind of sort of know that they are welcoming people. Basically, they are trying to steal the talent from here.
Hmm.
Um, and we are
Hmm.
too stupid to recognize that a lot of these people are needed desperately. And there is um, some validity to
Hmm.
US workforce saying, wait a minute, you are giving away low skilled jobs. And there is some validity. I agree with that. If you
Hmm.
have a normal manual QA testing job, that doesn't require rocket science. People can
Hmm.
be trained as long
Hmm.
as people are willing to train. People
Yeah.
don't want to go back to work. We need somebody to just do simple stuff for us, like office assistant. Can't find.
Hmm.
So what do you do?
Hmm.
In the DC metro area, it's very difficult to find people. So we have
Hmm.
to hire somebody in our Stanton office to make sure that these things get taken care of. Okay.
Yeah.
So the point is, we should look at this situation in a very careful manner. Make sure that we've got the right kind of people working here, but don't lose your talent to other people.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's axiomatic. Capital follows talent. Where talent goes, that's where money goes.
Yeah. But what's the like basically what's the take? Like is it that
Yeah,
Canada will now
I
directly?
I haven't even reviewed the program. All I've heard is hearsay. What I heard was if you have an H-1B, they will give you a similar visa, and they can give you open market visa, which is just come here and work for whomever you want, or they
Okay.
can give it to a particular employer. Those are kind of the things I looked at.
Hmm.
Personally, I lived in Canada. I can tell you, I loved Canada. I have no problem with Canada.
Yeah.
But Canada is not the United States still, because even though they have a lot of good stuff going, this is where the state of the art technology is.
Right. Yeah. 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 Okay. Um, Again, to summarize, we don't know the details yet,
I
but
haven't looked at them. No, no, they are available. They are on the Canadian government website. I
okay,
didn't see any point in spending a lot of time in it because I'm not a Canadian lawyer. I'm an American lawyer. I
got it.
work on
Yeah,
the US. Okay.
right.
I can't
Okay.
give advice on the Canadian side.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah. But the basic idea is that if you have H1B, they are welcoming
if
people,
you
and
have an H-1B, why would you want to go to Canada?
because
Just
right, yeah, yeah. But because you are like pigeonholed that you can't do like real
I
estate business or you
if they are
can't.
smart, they would have gone one step ahead. They would have said, if you were not selected in H-1B lottery, come talk
Hmm.
to us. Now you have 300,000 people going over.
Right, 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 right. Yeah, true, true. That's true.
If I have an H-1B, why do I want to go to Canada, right? So,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, true. All right, cool. Okay, now the hottest topic, which is like I got so many questions about this. Stud, I sounds like this again. Hearsay. I heard that USCIS had a vendor who was printing EAD card. They lost the contract or the contract ended, and because of that, there's a lot of delay in EAD card for the first time OPT EAD card, and so people are not receiving the card when they were supposed to receive it, and they don't know when actually their start date is, and does this mean that they are losing their unemployed date? So that's kind of the history of it, and there's like, I mean, context, and then there's like three scenarios. One is if I said my start date was June 12th and it got approved on June 20th, does it mean that my start date will move to June 20th, or does it mean that when they ship it, that's when my start date starts? So, so that's yeah,
so I have spent a few minutes looking over this issue a few weeks back, from what I remember.
yeah,
Uh, OPT can be applied, post completion OPT, either 90 days before the program is over or within 60 days after the program is over, the grace period, right? Okay. So you apply, let's say you apply online and you give a start date. You have a new I-20 that on which OPT is recommended, and you have a start date. Let's say the start date is July 1st.
hmm,
Okay, that's what you've requested. Unfortunately,
hmm,
if you get your damn EAD card on September 1st, you've lost a lot of time, because if it is effective July 1st, you've got a problem.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So in 2021, there was a lawsuit against the government just because of this issue. Because
hmm,
there's no room in the regulations for people to say, well, my EAD was in hand 6 months after I applied. And because of you, now I'm out of status because it's
hmm,
over 60 days or 90 days, whatever time you have left. Okay. So this is a very odd situation, right?
hmm,
So in 2021, what the government said was that, okay, we understand that you've got this problem. They got sued, and they out of Ohio, and they got. I actually talked to those litigators. We had some communications. Uh, the government said we will start your countdown from the date the EAD is approved, not from the date you asked for. And if
okay,
your EAD needs to be changed, we'll change it. They had a few
okay,
other things as well, some signature issues and all that. Okay. So what does that tell us? That tells us
hmm,
litigation is the way to go.
Hmm.
Suing the government gets their attention. Okay. Now, lawsuits are expensive, but if a bunch of people get together, lawsuits tend not to be expensive. They are affordable.
Hmm. Hmm.
Next thing is, who are the competent litigators? Okay. So my problem is we litigated a lot during the Trump administration. In one
Yeah.
year, we did 15, 16 litigations. Okay. Um, but we are not geared for litigation at the moment because we have so much transactional work. If I take my attention away, then all of a sudden, my team needs me. Even though I'm needed only for the top 10% strategy and reviews, they still need me. I can't just walk away from my already taken on obligations. So I told people, I said, listen, yesterday also somebody talked to me during our conference. We have a conference every Thursday.
Yeah.
So every Thursday, once on audio on LinkedIn and once on our private bridge. So on our
Hmm.
private bridge, somebody said yesterday, Rajiv, what can you do? I said, okay, this is what I'll do. Approach me over the weekend. I'll write a letter to various agencies. It's not going to do a lot, but at least we will be pushing some buttons. We can tweet those. Let's get them out in the media. And I have no problem if you guys want to send it, I'll help you draft it. My name
Hmm.
is not important, but your job gets done. It's important. So that student said, let me talk to other people. I'll get back with you. So
Hmm.
that's one thing I can do without getting, having to take away from what I need to do. So
Hmm.
litigation is the way to go. Now, some of my colleagues were talking about litigation in Washington, D.C. being a pain because there are right now, somebody mentioned there were 30 delay lawsuits on various issues pending, and they were all going to be fought. Government had indicated that they are going to fight each and every one of those cases. They're not going to
Hmm.
settle those cases.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, what happens is if you are litigating a delay case and it does not get settled, then the delay
You
case
do
gets
more.
delayed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
True.
So
Yeah.
it's a very sad situation. Now,
Yeah.
what you can do is this is what I would recommend, guys. If you are 10 people from one school, get together, talk to a local lawyer, get a lawsuit filed.
Hmm.
Instead of waiting for a national level lawsuit, because class action lawsuits tend to be more complicated. They
Hmm.
require more expertise and they require a lawyer to set up. They need to set up a website. Typically, that's what we do these days. Set up a class action website, make sure that we've got all the documents in order. It's just more complicated.
And is this lawyer has to be immigration lawyer or can be
No, no,
any
no.
lawyer?
Any litigator. They should work with an immigration lawyer. And if you have a litigator already, have them talk to me. I'll be happy to volunteer my time. I can always do a 10-minute call and explain to them what they need to look at. Most of these
Okay.
lawyers are competent people. They would know what to do. But if they want little hand holding on the immigration
Hmm.
side, I'll be happy to provide that.
Okay.
So, to all the people who are listening, if you have a litigator, okay, who's a little reluctant about the immigration area, it's not difficult. The area that he will be looking at is easy. It will be very helpful if he has a background in administrative law litigation, which is
Hmm.
Administrative Procedures Act,
Hmm.
because a lot of this is APA. Okay, but the immigration side will help them. I have no problem with that. Not only me, there are other lawyers in the firm who can do the hand holding for them.
Hmm.
My email is help@immigration.com. Have your lawyers contact me. We'll be happy to volunteer our time.
Hmm.
The more lawyers we train, the better off people are.
Yeah. 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 So
But we
okay.
are actually getting our litigation team together. Over the year, we should be able to get enough people on our side. So if we have to in the future, we'll be doing our own litigations.
Okay. But from your experience and knowledge, it is the start date. The start date. So someone says July 1st. It
That's
got
what you get.
approved on July 10th. So then July 10th is when the start date will be moved.
No, that's what the government is not doing. Okay. From my
Oh.
understanding is, again, please correct me, guys, if I'm wrong about this. See,
Hmm.
H1Bs and student EADs are a little different.
Hmm.
Um, Sometimes on H1B, let's say I ask for July 1st at the start date, but the H1B gets approved on July 15th. They'll give me July 15th start date, not July 1st, what I asked for. Think about this. So typically on H1Bs, the date of the start date is not the date you asked for if the date is already passed, but the date they approve the case.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
July 15th, they won't approve the case saying July
Right.
1st. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here is the difference. If I asked for a date 6 months ahead, on April 1st, I file a case asking for October 1st start date. They will approve it with October 1st start date. The difference is that date is in the future. If the date is in the past, they would approve it effective the date they approve. But I believe student EADs are approved as of the date you ask.
Even if there is 1 month of delay. Huh.
That's the
Okay.
problem. So that was the
S-
settlement last year, right? Or 2021. That was the settlement. Now, from
Okay.
what I remember,
Yeah.
that we will start counting the time from the date the EAD was approved. And if your EAD needs to be extended, we'll give you that extra time.
Okay.
That was the litigation. So what was the magic word? Litigation, lawsuit.
Hmm. Okay. Because I think some universities then some because these students reached out to their ISO or universities, international DSOs,
DSOs.
and they are saying that again there's mixed
Yeah,
information.
let's
One,
get this information because I could be confused too. I could be wrong. Remember, students, the laws and procedures of students are better known to the DSOs than us because
yeah,
they deal with it very intimately. I come into it when there's a problem. Okay.
right,
So if my understanding is incorrect, please by all means correct me. Help at
yeah,
immigration.com. I would like to know if you are getting EAD approvals,
yeah,
are
yeah.
they
I'll
on the date?
read. This is from US. I'll share my
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah. Share. What do you
Um,
have?
this is from University of Texas Dallas. So
Good
students,
DSOs. They are good DSOs. What are
yeah.
they saying?
So can you see my screen? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So they are saying we hope you're doing well and blah blah blah. Post completion STEM OPD application have recently experienced delay. Um,
Service request, ombudsman. Yeah, when you go to the ombudsman's office to file a complaint, I mean, it's online, mark it as an emergency. They act more quickly on emergency cases.
okay. Yeah, but here's what they are saying. Per OPD F1 student approved for initial post completion APD may not lawfully begin working on OPD until they have received
Yes.
their EAD card.
Yeah, we
And
know that.
then, yeah. And the start date on the card as passed. Students who choose to begin, blah, blah, blah.
No,
I
no.
think,
It doesn't talk about that at all.
yeah.
No, no. There's nothing about that.
Okay. And then
Yeah,
obviously
there's
for
nothing about that.
OPD,
I'm not really
yeah.
clear about what date they put, but I would be surprised if they don't put the date you ask for because there are some regulations that cover that. So,
Okay.
but do let me know. I would love to hear from you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, but I think what USCIS, when people are reaching out to them, what they are saying is that just do premium processing. We'll do it within a week. So that's just a scheme to get more money, I guess. It's so
Well,
interesting.
individually to the USCIS officers, it doesn't matter. I'll clarify something, guys. Even in the government agencies, um, there are people who are schmucks
Hmm.
who just hate everybody about everybody, everything about everybody. But there are people who are very kind, very nice people. They really try to help others. So it's not like you can paint everybody with the same brush. Just like in the normal world, there are
Mm,
good eggs and bad eggs even in the government agencies.
yeah.
What does he say?
He says even for students EAD,
Yeah.
if the requested start has passed, then the start date becomes the date when USCIS approves it. So
See,
that's
that's
what.
what that's what that's what they decided last year. I didn't know if they were going to do it this year or not, because last
Okay.
year they had said we are going to discontinue the practice of starting your EAD from the date you asked for, and we will think of it as the date because that was their practice.
Yeah.
So we'll think of the date we approve the EAD as the date your 12 months period begins.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay. So that's good to
Uh,
know, Palash. Thank you for that.
And then this one is 19 June, approved on 16 June for 19 June start date, which makes sense, but haven't received the EAD card yet. What does
Okay,
this
good.
mean?
That's good to know.
Uh,
Laksha, that's good to know. Thanks for sharing.
yeah. So, what does that mean? You just have to wait until it gets delivered to you, right?
Yeah, but now the problem is something different. Now, problem is not the start date only. The problem is delivery date.
Yeah.
Okay, so very nice that you. I asked for 16th June. You gave it 19th June. Nice. Okay, but if you deliver the card in October,
No,
I've
no,
got a
he
problem.
he he did ask for 19th, but got, like, you can see the status is right on the USCIS website. So it got approved
Approved
on
on
16th
16th
for
for
19th.
19th. So they got.
So
Is it he
what?
or she? I can tell. Okay,
It's a he, Laksha. Yeah.
okay. Lakshya Shahani. I thought it was Lakshya Shalini. Okay, got it. Sorry, my
Yeah, yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
glasses.
So I think, I mean, what do you think? Like, I think he just has to wait until,
Yeah,
unfortunately, the
yeah.
card gets.
Okay, now I'll tell you something else.
Hmm.
And this is a radical suggestion. Maybe people like it, maybe people don't like it.
Hmm.
If I really needed an employee and I'm the employer, okay, I'd say, you've got your approval, give it to me, start work. We'll deal with the government. If they come and try to enforce I-9 restrictions against us, that you violated the law, we'll deal with it. We have violated the law because you have violated your duty to get things done in a timely manner. Okay.
Hmm.
I'll see you in
Hmm.
court. If
Hmm.
I were the employer, I would say, you know what? Yeah, you start work, I'll deal with the USCIS. I would like to see them try to enforce it against me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That depends upon how aggressive the employer wants to be.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know that. I mean, I know there's about 100 people. If there's anyone from university, because when I was on Instagram, like, a lot of people sent me their university screenshot, which basically stated different things. Like, some said on the date of shipping is
Look,
when your start date will move.
these are the universities I actually find quite reasonable. Okay.
Okay.
MIT, I
Yeah.
find their suggestions pretty good.
Mm,
Berkeley, I find their
mm,
excellent, excellent suggestions. University of Texas is okay too.
mm,
Penn State is okay. But there are some
mm.
universities that give such weird recommendations. And when students show it to me, I don't know what to tell them because,
Yeah.
it's just plain wrong. Okay.
Mm,
So yeah, I would go to Berkeley, I would go to MIT, UT is okay. But these two are the most, in my, even University of Michigan. Some of
mm,
the larger universities, state universities, actually do a better job.
mm, mm. Yeah. Okay. There's a burning question. So Aditya was
Burning.
asking, mm, my wife is on F1 and H1B petition approved, but expecting to be laid off on August 10. So she
Arey,
probably
what is
knows
the
that.
what is the problem, Aditya? There is no issue. Oh, she's getting laid off. Acha. So this is what can happen. If couple of things that I can think of, because October 1st has not come yet, so
Mm,
change of status has not kicked in. You might be able
mm,
to revive her um,
OPT.
service if there is time left on her um, OPT. Okay, so you can. Unfortunately, SABIP told us they are not going to let the service be revived unless we can show them proof, a receipt from the USCIS that says that the case has been revoked. Okay, so that's one option. The other option, which is even better, in my view, talk with the employer. Let them not send a revocation until after October 1st. In the meantime, if you have to apply for a tourist status, B1, B2 status, you have to time it right, okay? Um, because August, September, she's getting laid off in August. So yeah, I think that's something to look at, Aditya. There are too many computations going on in my head to give you an exact advice, but two things that you need to look at: delaying the October 1st, the revocation to beyond October 1st, or contacting the lawyers or contacting the employer. If you're going to revoke my status, revoke it right away. So at least I can try to get my service reinstated.
Mm,
Okay. So again, coordinate with the school. They may not be able to do it without something formal from the USCIS.
Yeah. Okay. We'll take like a couple more questions and then call it. But I had offer with Amazon, but got postponed to August 23. I got another job, but both applied for H1B, got picked and approved through Amazon. I'm scared if my Amazon offer gets rescinded and or postponed past October.
Well, I can't do much about your fear, sir. That is a genuine fear. Not much I can do there. But the same rule, which is if they can somehow postpone your revocation to beyond October 1st, I think you should be out of the lottery. There are some lawyers who are saying that you must have worked for the employer for at least one day. I don't think so. I don't agree with
Hmm.
this. I think as long as your H1B is not revoked before October 1st, you should be okay. You should be out of the lottery. Okay.
Hmm.
The second option, of course, is to reinstate your service.
Hmm. Okay. What happens to visa status if the EAD is approved after graduation 60 days grace period? And also, if EAD application is rejected after the grace period, do we get more time to submit new
No.
document?
I think if you get rejected past the 60 days, you've lost your deadline.
Hmm.
As far as I know, that's the way it works. You have no
Hmm.
shot at the OPT in that course. You want to start another course, that's different.
Hmm. I yeah, this unfortunately there are many like this. Filed on 18 April, start date was June 1st, didn't approve yet. What should I do?
Premium process, that's what the USCIS is saying. I don't think that's a bad suggestion, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Uh, but
yeah,
what time are they giving? 25 days, right? They'll premium it in 25 days, something like that. But they
yeah.
are actually doing it a lot quicker than that.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard from students that some are getting got done in 4 days,
Yeah.
7, 2 weeks, and 3 weeks.
I've
So
heard the
max,
same thing that they are doing it a lot quicker than the time that they give.
it's $1,500. They should.
Yeah, in India, it's much simpler, right? You can actually bribe somebody. I wonder if it's the same in India now. That is how it was many years back.
All right. I think there's a lot of like, okay, special case. I was on OPD, F1 OPD till August 2022, and on 1st October 2020, my status changed to H1B. My question is, will they stem H1B in USC for someone who changed status from H?
We don't know yet. Feel again, music. We don't know yet. Um, we should know better. I think they should allow it, but they did not used to under the past program. First time visas were not allowed in the US. You had to go
Hmm,
outside to get them stamped.
hmm,
So, but the revalidations, the renewals of the visas were done within the United States. So we don't know yet.
hmm. Okay. Proposed is July 10th. Still haven't received. As far as I see, I have two options: pay 1,500, go for premium, or file a congressional inquiry with my senator.
Yeah, congressional inquiries are not going to do much.
Yeah, yeah. What happens to visa status if EAD is approved after graduation? 60 days grace
I
period.
don't think that's the problem, Samir. That
Yeah.
happens usually anyway. The only problem is that after the what is the kickoff date of your EAD? Because that's what you worry about. If my kickoff date is, and do I still have 90 days or 60 days? Again, depending upon where you are in your OPT. So that's the only problem. The fact that you've gone past your 60 days should not be an issue.
Hmm. Okay. Address change will be processed after or before or after approval. I'm asking for EAD F1 visa.
Have you tried filing a Form AR11? Because AR11 actually asks you, if I remember correctly, it says, do you have any application pending with us? And if you say yes and you give the receipt number, that should automatically get updated. They actually are cross linking these to your
Hmm.
pending applications.
Hmm. All right. I do have to leave, but to summarize, Narendra Modi's visit was great, great speech, but the sounds like it was already in process or in works. And H1B visa, we don't know yet, but looks like this real validation, people can do it in United States. First time we don't know if that's going to be in United States, at least as of right now. Canada welcomes H-1B visa holders. Again, we can people can read on Canada's website, and then OPD EAD approval. So far, what we know, or what Rajiv ji mentioned, is that whatever start date you put is what they're gonna approve it, and premium
No,
processing.
but people are saying they did not do that, right? Somebody said
Yeah,
that they got approved.
somebody,
Yeah.
right, someone is saying, again, this is where we don't have this information, that is it the day when USCIS approves that becomes your start date. Not, no idea, I'm
That's
just.
advantageous for you because if it is later than what you asked for, then you haven't lost any time.
Right,
And in a
exactly.
way, that makes sense because that's what they did in 2021, right? In a way, that makes sense because that's what they do with other cases as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The only problem happens in that case is if they don't deliver, like they got approved, but then there's still 3 4 weeks of
Yeah.
delay in deliver. But still better than losing that extra date of all the approval process. All
Yeah. I
right,
think a
cool.
lot of these cases are going to end up in court eventually. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, yeah, nice. Uh, Rohit is asking, my service has been released from old school to new school, and now I cannot do 24-month of STEM OPD update. Neither can report or end of employment. Hmm.
Has been released from old school to new school. You can't do a 24-month extension? That's news to me. Why not?
Yeah.
Old school to new school. Are you changing courses? Sorry, man. I have no idea what we are dealing with. I'll have to look at the regs. No
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, thank you, Rajiv ji. This was fun. It was good catching up, and I'm sure we'll talk soon. Okay.
Take care. I hear there
Bye.
are good mangoes these days from South America.
What? What? Oh no, no,
Yeah.
no. There is no way there's good mangoes. I had enough. I had enough. I'm enough for like next 3 4 years. All right. Thank you.
Take
Bye.
care.